Here's an interesting question. What technology has done more to destroy human community than any other? Of course, in the States, they always say, the gun. I don't think it's the gun. I have my idea, but you think of, what technologies have done. Some say the television. Well, television we generally watch with other people. We share it. The one that I believe is the real culprit in destroying, especially learning communities, is one that people don't really think about. And that's the portable book. It wasn't Gutenberg who destroyed community, because he invented these big books like this. They were printed, but they just replicated the old books that were manuscripts. And they were in the universities, and they were on the desks under a lock, and the lecturer would come, unlock the book, and read. And that's, of course, what lecturer means in French, is to read. And they'd read, and the only way you could get knowledge is from the professor reading from this book, that there was only one book. And the villain who came along was Aldus Manutius, who invented the portable book. He said, well, you don't need to make books this big. You can make them this big, and they'll fit in your saddlebag. And then you could produce all kinds of books, and people could have their own book. And this was a revolutionary idea. But now, you could learn on your own. You didn't need a community to learn. You could sit on your own and learn something, which was unheard of. And that's why they banned books from European universities for about 150 years. They didn't want to see them because it took away the control of the professor. And there were all kinds of complaints of people coming in. They read a book and they think they know something. So sometimes when people say, oh, the games are destroying community and all of this stuff, point them to the book. The book is the real culprit. Now people can learn on their own. They don't have to talk to anybody, and they can learn pretty well whatever they want. And no community is necessary. Whereas games, computer games, they're not playing alone. They're playing with others all around the world. We may not like what they're playing or what they're learning, but there's real communities out there. They are communicating with other people. So what's happening and what we're seeing is digital convergence, where this device, it's a book, it's a radio, it's a telephone, it's a computer, it's a PDA, game player, fax, camera, World Wide Web reader, email, a clock, it's everything. Not only that, this I wrote before the iPhone. I've got 120 things it does on here. This I can take a picture of a book and it'll tell me where I can buy it or which library it's in. It's endless, the possibilities of these devices. And it brings about pervasive computing, where you can work on computers from anywhere at any time, whenever. It'll just become part of what you do. And you see that now. People, they're saying, oh, I saw this guy in this song and it came from somewhere. They just open up their iPhone, listen to the song, and it'll tell them who sang it and where to get it and everything else. It's becoming part of who we are. And this is important to remember too, is people say, and I'm sure most of you have heard, oh, I'm for people, not technology. And what I say is, we are our technology. our technology is what makes us human. That's what separates us from other species, is our technology. You know, it comes with the invention using the stick, or you know, the invention of the spear. Of course, a lot of our technology has not been good technology, but it's part of who we are. How do we define ourselves? If you're an electrician, you define yourself by the use of the technology you do. This is part of what we are as human beings. You know, if you're a tennis player, you define yourself with your use of your equipment. And I mean, it's part of what we are as human. You cannot separate human beings from technology. In fact, I look around and what I see are cyborgs. I see a whole room full of cyborgs rather than humans, and I'll come to that later, what I'm talking about.